Miami basketball. Let's look at this roster heading into the 2025-26 season. We're going to do a little recap of last year. Not too long, guys. I know for you Miami basketball fans, we don't want to revisit that for very long. And then I'm going to get into how I see the roster for next season. And then in the fall, I'm going to come back and give you guys my predictions and projected rotation for this Miami basketball team. So, Miami last year, it was a rough year. And it was a rough year after a rough year under Coach Larrañaga. And Coach Larrañaga only lasted 12 games with this program, and it did not get better after he was let go. Coach Bill Courtney, Larrañaga was 4-8. Coach Bill Courtney finished up the season 3-16. It was a brutal season for Miami basketball, which is a shame because Coach Larrañaga had really built this program into being a really solid perennial winner in the Atlantic Coast Conference, and it just was a rough finish for Coach Larrañaga at Miami. Now, from last year's team, and typically in these videos, and please like this video, it really helps with the algorithm. I'd go through the roster from last season and talk about the guys, who left the program. Was single out a few of them. The whole team left. Everyone's gone. The leading scorers from last year, Matthew Cleveland and Lynn Kidd, are out of eligibility, and everyone else transferred. Most notably, I would say Nigel Pack, Jalil Bethea, who was a top 10 recruit and just really did not work out. And Paul Jobay had been there for a couple of years, somewhat recognizable name, but everyone else is gone. They're all transferred out. So, who are these new players for Coach Lucas? That's right, new head coach Jay Lucas coming over from Duke. It was announced during the season, actually, he was taking over this Miami program. For those of you who may not know, but I'm sure most of you know at this point. So Coach Lucas will be his first year as a head coach, but he's got a ton of assistant coaching and high profile positions. Duke, Kentucky, Texas. He's been around at high major programs. He's going to be a tremendous head coach, I really believe, for this Miami program. So now we're going to look at his first year roster, what he's able to do in rebuilding this team. It's going to be a couple of years before he gets it to where he wants it, but they're going to get there quicker than I think people realize. And we're going to start off with these first four. This is the order in which Miami has their roster listed on their website here, and it's in alphabetical order. So Dante Allen is a top 40 recruit coming over from Montverde. I expect him to certainly be a part of the rotation and maybe a starter for this team. Marcus Allen is a transfer from Missouri. Didn't play very much for Missouri last season, but he's got good size at 6'7", 220 pounds, and will be a sophomore. Salih Al-Tunis comes over from Turkey. He's 6'10", 280 pounds, what I have him listed at. Don't know too much about him because most of his stats are from like Turkey U20 games, so it's hard to really get a great sense of his evaluation from that, having not been able to watch him play. But I do expect him, just based off of the roster, to be part of the center rotation for this Miami program. And Trey Donaldson might be their best player. Really important get, just a stabilizer for this Miami team at their point guard position. A really experienced player, having been at Auburn, and then last season played on a really, really good Michigan team. So important transfer. One of the first guys that came over for Coach Lucas. All right, next four. Got Shelton Henderson, the highest ranked recruit, top 30 recruit, coming over from Texas. Had originally committed to Duke, but I think saw his playing time wasn't going to be super strong, and I imagine Coach Lucas was one of, if not the lead recruiter for Henderson. So he saw that he could, go to Miami. Excuse me. Go to Miami with a coach that he is familiar with, and have a much easier pathway to playing time, and I do think he's going to start for this Miami team, which I don't think would have been the case at Duke. Jordan Key, transfer, redshirt freshman from Georgia, didn't play last year, 3-star recruit. Expect him to be on the fringes of the rotation. Similar with John LeBoy II, a 3-star recruit as well. I don't expect either one to play a ton, but this is not a very deep team, so you never know. Timofej Malovic comes over as a 6'8" freshman from Slovakia. Not a ton that I could find on Timotej. But again, based off the lack of depth on this team, I expect him to be part of the rotation. Last 3 guys. And these are 3 of the main transfers that Coach Lucas was able to bring in. Malik Reneau. Malik Reneau looks totally different there. That's throwing me off with his new haircut. Comes over similar to Trey Donaldson. Strong track record. 3 years at Indiana. Really solid numbers. Will be a senior. 13 points, 5.5 rebounds, 2 assists. The rebounds are a little bit down, in part because he was playing next to Umar Ballo. I do think that could be somewhat similar this year, but just a kind of a classic 6'9" throwback power forward. And then Ernest Uday, I think it's, talk about connections. Coach Lucas was recruiting him when he transferred initially. I think it was from Kansas. And he ends up at TCU a couple years later. He's in the portal again. Those relationships matter. He gets him over to Miami this time. Defensive, good rebounder, shot blocker, can generate steals as well. I think he's going to start at center for Miami. And then True Washington. Intriguing guy. 11 points, 4 rebounds, couple assists, couple steals. 6'4", around 200 pounds. Strong guard, good defensive guard. The 3-point shooting numbers weren't good, but I saw stats which were kind of able to separate the catch and shoot and off the dribble, and he's much better catch and shoot. So I wonder if Coach Lucas, I'm sure they've identified that, and if they can kind of keep him in the catch and shoot area of his game, I think his efficiency will improve. And I think Washington and Dante Allen are in competition to be that starting 2 guard for this Miami team. And then 2 guys who aren't listed here, but I believe are going to be joining Miami next season are Trayvon Maddox, top 150 recruit freshman, and Noam Dovrat, a 6'5" guard from Israel. He's 23 years old, averaged 5 points, 2.5 assists in the Israeli league. I think he's going to be your backup point guard to Trey Donaldson. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel. It really helps a lot. We're trying to grow this as much as we can to be, one of the premier college basketball programs on social media. And yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you're a Miami fan, I'll see you guys in the fall. If you're a college basketball fan, stay tuned because we're going to be doing as many teams as I can here. Until next time, peace.